Hi everyone, I'm going to react to Demon Slayer Season 2, Episode 14, Transformation. And last episode, oh my gosh, Nezuko, oh my gosh, she was just... Uh, she got sliced and diced by Daki, but then she just like immediately regenerated. And then Daki is like, her abilities is like upper rank level. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? It was so cool. But like, oh my goodness. And even Tanjiro, he was so upset after Daki killed a bunch of people in one attack and all of that, and then he just like got super mad, and then he studied. I feel like he would have killed her had he not suddenly dropped and was having trouble breathing and all that. And that's when Let's Go showed up. You know what? I'm excited. So let's just get into this episode. And before we get into it, if you guys have a reaction, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and please consider supporting my Patreon at patreon.com/filmmini. And now let's start this episode. And here we go. She for sure is. Okay. Last episode, when she was just like, she just like, kept doing her limbs, and basically like, I was being punched, but it stomped on Daki so bad, and it seems like, oh my gosh, she's about to kill this girl. And then I was deciding, in my mind, I'm thinking she has developed this new ability, and it's like a new demon blood art or something or other. And then they started this episode. They were replaying what happened, and then I saw the thing that keeps her mouth, her teeth, I don't know, from teeth closed, mouth closed, whatever, broke. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is not good. This is not good. And then when she kept stomping on Daki and stomping, and you see the change in her look, in her eyes, you know that she's enjoying this. And I'm like, this is not good. I'm starting to feel afraid now. And then you see Tanjiro, passed out, and one of his siblings like trying to wake him up, telling him to go help their sister, or she's about to lose it. And that's when I'm like, okay, this is please go do something. She was like, I love the part that she was just like destroying Daki. Like, I really love that. But then when she was like there, and then there was these people there, and then this one person was bleeding, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Tanjiro, where are you? Where are you? And just when she was about to attack this person, that's when Tanjiro showed up and used his sword as the mouth guard and was trying to get her down. But then Daki chose that particular moment to show up. And I'm like, oh my gosh, please, this is not the time for you. Because Tanjiro was already having a hard enough time to get Nezuko under control. And then she shows up, and I'm like, how are we going to do this? And then I remember Uzui was on his way, and I'm like, Uzui's going to he's gonna show up. And then he showed up in like a flash, and then he did something. Okay, I know he did something, but then he basically sort of got past Daki and was just like crouching in front of Tanjiro and just talking to him like nothing was happening. And then you hear Daki in the background like, basically like, why are you ignoring me? And then Uzui was like, you are no upper rank demon. And she was getting upset with that. And then all of a sudden her head sort of like, and I'm like, what? Like, I know he did something. I just didn't know that he cut her head off. Like, he was just there so casual. Like, so when the head just like, I'm like, what? But then she started crying that she's an upper rank demon and whatever. And then Uzui was like, why is she still, was she not disintegrating? 'Cause, once you cut the head off, that's supposed to be the end. But she was still there talking and crying and whatever. And then she said, Aniki. And I'm like, oh, okay. So another one is there. The funny thing about this is that, ever since she showed up, and then you see all, it seems like there's, you have all those three houses, and her real persona or whatever was in one particular house, and it seems that there was another demon in another house, and I was like confused. Okay, is it just the one demon, or is it just multiple demons? And then at one point you see her belt or whatever being sort of like its own entity, when Uzui and the Inosuke and the wives and Nezuko Zenitsu were like by themselves over there. So I'm like, okay, it's probably just her, and she's able to animate her belt to act on its own somewhere over there. So I'm like, okay, it's just the one. And then this episode turns out it's not just the one, it's the two. So I'm like, okay, so it was multiple demons ever since the beginning. And the brother shows up, and he was just the way he was talking. Nah, nah, nah. I'm like, oh my gosh, just stop talking. Keep saying how, clearly he's the ugly one out of both of them. Oh my goodness. These both of them, the brother and sister, have something about beauty, okay, that's ingrained in them. Clearly has something to do with their backstory, and I particularly don't care about why that is. And when she said Aniki, and Uzui sensed the presence, sensed the demon coming out, he immediately went on the attack, but it didn't work. He couldn't kill this dude. And then this dude tried to attack and kill Uzui, but Uzui's, he was able to stop him, and whatnot. And then the thing launched is demon blood art, something sickle or whatever. I'm like, okay, whatever, man. And then the others showed up. Inosuke and Zenitsu, they showed up, and Tanjiro was telling them to go help Usui, and that he was gonna go and put Nezuko back in her box. So there's that. Now, the Nezuko and Tanjiro part of things. Uzui told Tanjiro to get control of Nezuko and told him to sing her lullaby or something. And that basically made Tanjiro remember their mom singing this lullaby and whatnot. And then he started singing it to her, and it brought back memories for Nezuko of when the mom was singing to her, and I love that. Like in the nursery rhyme, they were basically saying, why is the lapin rabbit, is it rabbit, that's what I think they said, ears were red and because it red berries. And then she was like, is that why the brother's eyes is red because she ate red berries or something or other? It was so cute. And then when she remembered that, she started crying, and then she reverted back to her itty bitty cutie self. And yeah, that moment when Daki and her were fighting, and then Daki decapitated her, and I'm like, did that really just happen? But then nope, because her blood was like basically congealed itself, or it was still attached. Then she brought all the body parts back together, and like, okay, because Nezuko cannot die, okay? Nezuko and Tanjiro, they cannot die. They are like the mains. So yeah, she's too cute to die. No. But the end there, Gyutaro, Yeah, was saying something about him and Daki being two in one or something or other. So what does that mean? In order to defeat them, do you have to cut both of their heads off, or do you just like Uzui said? Do you just cut the one Gyutaro's head and then both of them will be defeated? I have no clue. Maybe you're supposed to cut both at the same time. I don't know, man. Like, how the heck are you supposed to defeat these two? I don't know. But I was in the back of my mind when, after Tanjiro's brother spoke to him, told him to go help the sister and everything. He was passed out. Had spent a lot of energy and whatnot to face Taki, and then he would have died had he not started breathing or whatever. So I'm like, when he got there, and then he got hold of Nezuko, and in that state, Nezuko is like super, super strong. She's being all like wild and everything. And I'm like, boy, do you have the strength to be holding? I don't know. I feel like based on everything that Tanjiro has been through, fighting Daki and everything, he should not have the strength to be able to hold her back. That's what I was thinking in the back of my mind. But then I'm like, you know what? He's gonna find some kind of superhuman strength in order to keep his sister from, eating people. But yeah, I love this episode. Loved it. Thank you guys for watching. And if you like this reaction, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe. And if you want to see my reaction to the next episode, you can do so by checking out my Patreon at patreon.com/Philemini. And you can also see the full length of this reaction there as well. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.